What's up, everybody? We're rolling audio here today on episode 52 of The Harder Show. How are you doing? How's it going? I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic weekend so far. Thank you so much for tuning in, clicking that play button on part 2 of my conversation with Braedon, and Dylan from Outshined. This part 2 you're going to hear is an awesome conversation. We get into the making of their latest offering, their kind of self-titled EP. We talk about all the process of that, talk about each song individually. The guys kind of give me a rundown of how each song was recorded, the meaning behind each song, and all that kind of thing. So it's a really, really cool conversation. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I know I thoroughly enjoyed it. This one has a lot of laughs and random segues in it as well. So again, I do apologize if anyone was looking for a more professional done podcast with these guys, but unfortunately, that's not what you're going to get, because I am not a professional broadcaster by any stretch of the imagination. But if there's one thing I am, I'm fun sometimes, I guess, right? I guess I'm fun sometimes. But anyway, before I get into that, I just want to give a big thank you to everybody who took the time to check out the part 1 of Outshine's podcast that I put up on Thursday. It was very, very cool. I knew I'd get a decent reception from it, just because it's Outshined. But right now we're just about at 60 listens in total right now for in between the SoundCloud and the YouTube. Excuse me. Now that could be more. I find that with the iTunes involved, sometimes my listens can be a little uneven. And what I mean by that is sometimes my listens won't show up on basically the SoundCloud is what I use to feed the podcast into iTunes. So sometimes the listens from iTunes won't show up on the SoundCloud until like a week after. So I'll randomly go from like 20 listens to like 50. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I'll look and go, oh, okay. So if you happen to listen on iTunes, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you listen on the SoundCloud, thank you. I appreciate it. And if you listen on the YouTube, thank you. I appreciate it. The YouTube definitely has been growing a little bit for anyone who happened to check out that little video I put up the other night there. Just giving my thoughts on Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa for the Cruiserweight Classic. Even if you're not wrestling people, I still appreciate you guys checking it out. Something different that I did. Almost not a vloggy type thing, but just kind of almost a video opinion. I was thinking about doing a quick podcast about it, but I just said, I'm just going to put up this video, and it is what it is. Some people really dig when I do the video updates and the vloggy type stuff, so I might start doing that slightly more often. It can be a bit of a pain, just because I don't really have the equipment to do decent quality video content, which is why I do the podcast mainly, and also I just prefer podcasts. But so it's definitely something I've thought about. If you guys would maybe like to see more of that kind of stuff, definitely let me know. I always appreciate any feedback from you guys at all. Just talk to you guys at all. You can always hit me up on the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram. Hit me up on the Snapchat. Snapchat's Terrence James, all one word. TERRANCE James, JAMES. Pretty easy to find. It's my personal Snapchat, but I also do updates and that kind of thing for the podcast and random podcast behind the scenes things. Basically, anytime I have a guest on the podcast, I'm probably going to hype it and let everyone know who it is specifically, unless it's someone I want to really make sure I hype. I'm probably going to put up on the Snapchat. So definitely, if you have Snapchat, follow me. I don't Snapchat all the time, but I'll go through these little phases where I won't Snapchat for like a week, and then I'll Snapchat like 100 times in a day. So something to keep in mind if you're into that. You guys know you can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All my handles are just The Harder Show. And you can always send me an email anytime at thehardershow@gmail.com, all one word. So that's all that. Just before I kick into part 2 here as well, I want to give a quick shout out to my man, Mr. Jason Reese over at Jaybird Digital Arts. You guys know, if you've listened to the podcast before, how much I talk about Jason, and I feel the need to talk about Jason and Jaybird Digital Arts, not only because He does a phenomenal job with his product. He does it for a great price. He's very quick and all that kind of stuff. Like business and all that kind of thing is great. It's a great business. Jaybird Digital Arts. If you need any kind of digital media, any kind of print work or tons of stuff. I don't even know how to explain it anymore. But if you need any kind of merch or anything even like that, he can do all that for you. For anyone who follows the show regularly, you guys would have seen my t-shirts that I had Jason do up for me, and they turned out awesome. But aside from all the business stuff, just Jason himself is a great guy. If you guys watch the live cast, you know how great of a guy he is, because he literally drove an hour on his own dime and own time to come bring me my t-shirts for the live cast I did there a couple weeks ago. That was awesome. I'm still just kind of over the moon about that. But so definitely be sure to check Jason out if you are in need of any kind of digital art stuff or anything like that, any merch or anything like that. He's a great guy, does it for a great price. You can find him on the web at www.jaybird, that's JAYBIRD, digitalarts.com. You can also find him on Facebook, Instagram, under the Jaybird Digital Arts name. Under the Jaybird Digital Arts name. All right, with all that random talkings and plugging and so forth out of the way, we're going to get into this part 2 with Outshined. First, I want to play you guys my new intro. You guys heard it last week. It is the first little beginning of Outshine's song Why. You also heard the full song Why on last week's podcast at the end of it. That was cool. You guys will hear some more music at the end of this podcast. I'm not going to tell you what song it is, but it is off Outshine's new EP, and it's going to be exclusive. You can only hear it right now here on The Harder Show unless you have the actual physical EP. So definitely stay tuned for that, guys. Let's get into the part 2 with Brandon, Braedon, and Dylan. Let's get into it. Alright, so we're back hanging out with Outshined here for part 2. Guys, thanks for hanging out for 3 days while I get this ready to go here. Sorry I haven't left your house yet. They're very
tired.
It's been a long one.
I've gotten used to you at my house, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. This is cool. I'll just come by randomly. Like I'll just be like hanging out. I'll be like,
we've grown a man stench together.
Yes.
3 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. All right. So before part 1 there, thank you everybody for tuning in again for part 2 here with Outshined. We're gonna get into some more kind of modern stuff that's going on, that kind of thing.
Preach.
So what are you talking about?
You said thanks for everyone for tuning in, and I said preach.
Thanks everybody. So just kind of diving right into it here, not wasting any time or anything. When you guys the last time you guys played Battle of the Bands, you guys kind of did like that headlining thing. Is that correct, or that was?
Well,
talking about Landmark?
No, it was like, I guess it was kind of a headline, but we judged as well.
Sorry, that was it.
We
I
did
always
like
forget.
a headline,
yeah.
and then we came back and judged and played last as well. So
Yeah.
Now, the reason I bring that up, because I want to get into kind of the more modern stuff that's going on and that kind of thing. These guys are cracking up over here. But the reason I bring that up, like I said, that night where you guys were the judges in that was the first show, aside from that acoustic performance, I guess, in front of gigs, that you guys actually went as a 3-piece. And I just kind of wanted to ask about that because, I did ask Brandon about that when he was on the podcast. But as far as you guys, from your point of view, you guys kind of remember that night. Obviously, delving into it as much as you want. I mean, obviously, Sean's listening. Sean knows what happened. Sean was,
yeah.
But
well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't, as I said before, it wasn't really like a by choice thing. I guess. Well, I guess it was and it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think Sean, not parting ways with Sean was kind of a long time coming thing. Like, we'd been jamming for a while, just the 3 of us, and he just was jamming with Eleanor Shore. And
Yeah, he was just busy elsewhere, which is
Great
all
band.
right.
Yeah. And
Great
with
band.
work, and he just got in a new relationship, so they were doing their thing and making sure that was going to work. So
Yeah.
it just happens. Like,
It was quite a bit of time too. Like, this band was on hiatus, and
Yeah.
the 3 of us
Yeah.
just started talking and realized, like, why aren't we doing anything?
Yeah,
You know?
like,
what are we
'cause,
doing?
I was working at the shop, so I had Fridays.
Shout
and
out to
stuff
Gigs
off.
Music.
Yeah, I had Fridays and stuff, that kind of thing off, so I could work.
only Braedon got that joke.
All right, so yeah, Dylan wasn't working, Braedon wasn't working either. And it was just like...
What were you guys doing then? God.
We were
Gaming.
both in school.
Yeah.
Oh, see, fair
Yeah,
enough.
Dylan was victory lapping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
So
in my first year of college.
I think Sean was going to school at that time as well, so...
Yeah, he victory lapped with me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were busy. Like, life was taking off, so to
I was
speak.
the only
Yeah.
one not really that busy. Well, working at the shop, but, other than that...
Was that even a job? No, yeah. Sometimes.
Shout out
mean-
to Gigs Music.
Shout out to Gigs Music again.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. So,
R.I.P. Gigs Music. Anyway.
so yeah, there's like a hiatus of, I guess you could call it, for what, like 6 months?
Yeah, like
It was a long time.
like all our
but-
families, like, what have you guys been doing? Like, is there anything coming out? Like, not really.
Yeah.
What's going on? Nothing.
Like
Nothing.
I don't know about you guys, but I was still working on riffs and stuff at home. I was still sending you guys riffs that whole time too.
Yeah, oh yeah, you were.
We were
Yeah,
exchanging ideas and stuff.
yeah. And we didn't stop talking as a band. We're still talking to each other. It's just nothing
Daily,
was happening.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. It
Oh
was
yeah.
just, we just couldn't figure out timing for getting stuff together. Good one, Braedon.
No time to jam.
Oh, I'm
like-
leaving that stuff in. I'm leaving the burps in.
I'm so in.
I'm
for
going to
that.
show the world how filthy you guys are.
Or dirty. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of, I guess, like I said in the last one, I think I used the same phrase. It just came to a head, and it was like,
You can sort of tell, like, we were, like, it was going downhill. Like, we had to do something. And I know, I remember me and Brandon just talking to ourselves, like besides Sean and Braedon, just talking about how, like, the band's just doing nothing, and us just trying to figure something out, and it was really hard to think of anything to do, because...
yeah. Because, like, Dylan and I, like, we've always been on the same page. We've both known that we've wanted it really bad and wanted to continue with the band. And at that point, we didn't know how in Braedon and Sean were.
Mhm.
So,
Just because of life, not like
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
particular. Yeah.
and it came down to, like, we had a show in Tweed that we were supposed to cover, like, what was a 2-hour set or something like that.
Yeah,
And like Sean came to a rehearsal, and he had a rehearsal with Eleanor Shore right after. So it was a matter of we had like an hour and a
No,
half.
that was for the Battle of the Bands that we rehearsed for.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
because I remember
was
you guys
already
did the
out.
tweet show after.
Yeah, and then we had to shoot a video for your school as well. So we ran Y like a couple times, and that was it. So that was cutting it pretty close already. We were already nervous about that, and we'd been jamming, so we knew the three of us were going to be all right with it. It was just a matter of like we hadn't jammed with Sean for a long time, and then that night it was like, yeah, guys, I'm not going to be there till like an hour before, and then I'm not going to be there till half an hour before, and then it's like, yeah, I'll be there right when we're about to play.
Yeah, and then is it delayed? Because maybe I'll come a bit later than that.
Yeah.
And like when like.
I mean, I was there. Like, I was there kind of chilling with you guys because I was alone. So thanks for letting me hang out. They were alone as usual. I was, like, hanging out, and, like, I saw the stress because you're like, what are we going to do? And, like,
Yeah.
you know, Brandon's just like, yo, like, you want to, like, play guitar with us? And I was like, no. Not to mention I'm 24.
Like, you know, we can't solely blame Sean.
No.
Like,
No.
Dylan and I,
No, no,
Dylan
no,
and I
yeah.
were
In hindsight, we didn't
we did-
handle the whole thing well.
no.
No.
Just texting him and saying, like, you might as well just not show up.
Yeah.
Like, there was
Yeah.
a lot better things we could have done, but
Yeah, that was my
But
I mean, I think it's-
you know, we were just at that point, like, we were like, you know, if you're gonna show up like 5 minutes before and, you know, pull an Axl Rose, you know,
when he was supposed to be there with us to judge.
to
the whole
judge,
thing.
Yeah.
and he changed his mind. But yeah, like, you know, Dylan and I, we were both in relationships too, so we were making that work.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just the way life got in the way. That's all it really
Yeah.
was. But once we, you
No
know,
hatred for Sean, like, you know.
No, not at all.
yeah,
You know.
Hatred.
not at all.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Powerful word.
Oh, you know what I
Powerful
mean. Like,
word from Dylan. Shots
just
fired
like
at
him.
Sean
There's
from
no
Dylan
hate.
Porter over here.
yeah.
Well, it just
No,
like
just
you know
kidding.
that night it was like Braden's like, you know, what do you guys want to do? Because if he's not going to be here right till time, we've barely had a rehearsal.
Yeah.
So you know that was when we just kind of called it and we're like, you know what, we'll just do it as a 3-piece tonight. And then the next day was like the actual conversation we kind of had with Sean, where he was like, okay, so what's up? What's going on? What do you
Yeah,
guys?
we got really
feeling
in depth,
kind of
like,
thing?
just.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably some, you know, some grievances to air, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
First,
oh, yeah.
first and foremost.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just tell from even, like, being around you at the store. Like, nothing negative, but just like, oh, like, I could tell you were stressing out
Yeah.
about it. And, like,
We kept
Or
it. We
you
kept it
were
all
about it.
respectful, though.
oh,
you
yeah,
know,
of
we-
course, yeah.
Yeah. And like Sean and I were always the ones, and I know Sean will completely agree with this, so I have no problem saying this. Sean and I were always the ones that butted heads in the band, but not in like a you're an asshole kind of way.
Oh, just, yes, butt
Right.
heads. That happens.
It was just-
Creative differences.
Yeah, it was just creative differences. That's all.
That's
it
the polite
was,
way
right?
to say it. No.
Yeah.
So him and I probably had it out the most in that conversation that day, but you know, at the end of the day,
Headed out the most. Dylan cracks a smile. So was there some heated exchanges happening?
I think it was probably just laughing more because it was just Sean and I.
Yeah. Oh,
or-
yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But so that was the day that, and then you guys did that show in Tweed as a 3-piece.
No, Dylan's dad played with us.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yes,
We
yes,
just
yes. Okay.
rehearsed our balls off for
Yeah.
that show.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
My dad up there sweating once again.
Right on.
That was fun to play JV.
Yeah.
It was a cool time.
Yeah, I forgot that because I think I remember again not to keep like bringing myself into this, but I remember you were like, "Yo, so like,
Yeah.
you want to do this tweet show?" And I was like, "I cannot play guitar for 2 hours
Oh
straight."
yeah, TJ was originally supposed to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, because at first I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah.
And then like I thought about it.
Yeah, we asked Jesse
asked
Paulette
Jesse,
as well.
Yeah.
After you couldn't, we asked Jesse. We thought about Bryson for a while. but
My
he
dad,
just
my
didn't
dad wanted to be the last resort because he likes being in the crowd, but
For sure.
he of course he'll come up and play with us. We need him, right? So
Yeah, and the thing with your dad was always like, no, you guys can do it yourselves. Like you'll be fine. But
yeah,
I think he knew. He just knew. He's like, "You got to be fine."
at that point, like I wasn't comfortable with just playing guitar and singing for 2 hours. Like
I don't think we all weren't really comfortable with that.
I mean, that's
Like,
a
it
big.
was-
Yeah.
So was that like the first like long show you guys did? Like,
Oh, yeah.
that was-
Absolutely.
without Sean. Yeah,
And that was the longest show I think we'd ever done with or without Sean.
Yeah.
'Cause that was like a 2 hour set. Like it was long.
that's a long
Yeah.
set.
So yeah,
I think becoming a three-piece was definitely hardest on Braedon more than anyone else. Because
oh, yeah.
Still and I can sit here and go, "Oh, it's no big deal.
yeah,
nothing changed
doing the
for
same
us."
thing. Yeah,
Braedon's got all the guitars now. He's got all the
And all the
solos.
vocals
He's
and-
singing
yeah.
on top of that.
yeah.
It's definitely harder for you. I remember the conversation we had. Like it was a couple days after you came into work. And I was like, "What's going on?" You're like, "Yeah, I guess we might go as a 3-piece. I don't know. Yeah, I'll see what happens."
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, "Yeah, like, dude, like, I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm gonna do." Like,
And then
we gotta find
even
out.
like writing songs became difficult because like we'd think of the sick riff for like say like a verse, and it's like Brandon doesn't want to play it and sing the verse at the same time. Like
because I can't.
yeah,
I physically can't do it. Like there were songs that just like I think it was All Hope Is Gone.
And Break
you're
Me
just
Down.
yeah, you're just like, bro, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, like those.
Yeah.
One of those songs, I never remember which one I always messed them up. Still to this day I messed them up. We could have played them every single day of the week, and I still mess up the names. But the one I like learned how to play the chorus, and that I could do. But to play the verses of it, I was like, nah, not happening.
yeah.
We did try them a few times, like at rehearsals, and it just wasn't happening.
Just wasn't.
No.
There are some riffs. Like there are people. Like I know me personally. Like I'll be able to play like crazy metal stuff. Then you try and teach me Slither.
Yeah,
I can't play Slither.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just for some reason, my brain can't make that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Still to this day.
Well, like
But-
it was like a matter of playing and singing it, right?
Yeah.
Because
That would freak me out.
Sean wrote the majority of those songs, and he wrote them in thinking that it was like he was going to play guitar, Braedon was going to play bass, I was just going to sing without playing guitar, Dylan was going to play drums.
Yeah.
So we've had to approach writing in a completely different way, but it made it harder, like Dill said. But I think it also made it kind of easier in a way because now that we've grown as writers as well, like we can write more like note-based stuff. Like I remember back in the day, I just wanted to be like heavy and like full chords and stuff. But now we're doing more single note stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And it's,
works
I
better.
think the single note stuff sounds more like us anyway. Like I think we found our sound in that way.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like again, like, I have not heard the EP yet, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I'm sure when I do, I'll be like, oh my god. But so. I know you guys were kind of looking for a guitar player. You were kind of there's a couple guys you mentioned you were kind of mulling around.
Yeah.
When the decision finally was made, that you know what, we're just gonna go as a 3-piece. What kind of finally just triggered that? Like
I don't
I
think
think
it was like one decision. I think we just slowly gave
it just
up.
kind of happened.
Yeah,
These guys
yeah.
There was never a definitive point where we're like, no, we're not going to get another
there was
guitar player.
there was even a really slight idea that Braedon would play guitar, and then
remember
we'd
that.
find another bass player.
Yeah.
But we would never find another bass player like Braedon, so we
That's
couldn't.
what it came down to. We're like, we're not going to
Yeah.
find someone that's going to, write like Braedon does,
Yeah.
because no two
That's
people
what-
write alike.
That's
right?
what I said.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm gonna Braden some play guitar. Find some other like person to play bass.
Yeah.
Just find some
Yeah.
idiot. Who cares? Like,
But we had like a few people interested. We had like a thing on Kijiji and whatnot.
yeah.
We had a couple people. We had a guy named Clint that was interested for a while.
Yeah.
His
Shout out
name's
to,
like- but-
shout out to
Name's
Clint for
Clint.
listening.
I know, when he
Shout out to
emailed, I'm
Clint
like,
Lowry.
I know when he emailed, I'm like, ooh, Clint Lowry, sweet.
But Lowry joins Outshined.
And like the guy had like all the gear, like like as part of our ad, we said you can't have like a Line 6 Spider 112 kind of thing, right? Like you got to have gear that can keep up with the
Oh,
412
sure.
and the big and our bass amp and all that. And he emailed back that he had like a Mesa Mark V with a couple 412s, like an Angle, all this nice PRS stuff. So we're like, okay, this guy's probably the right guy for the job. Emails another time and he's like 33. So we're like,
so, yeah,
And that's another thing. We need to find someone who can gel with us and
yeah.
and preferably around the same age.
yeah. I
but-
mean, if you got a guy who's 33, I mean, hey, that's great and everything. I'm sure
Yeah.
he's a great player, but he's.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I just.
And
Gear was a requirement right from the beginning. I would have never got the gig.
neither would I, man.
yeah.
Well, what gigs did you have for the first jam?
What's that?
What gear did you have for the first jam?
Sean's.
I had Sean's gear.
Sean's gear.
Yeah.
It was like a 115.
What amp is that?
It was like a 115 Marshall bass combo.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
Sean's
we used for
bass,
the longest
too.
time.
And Sean's
And
bass.
I didn't
And
have
Sean-
a working bass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're telling me is Sean is responsible for Outshined happening.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, for sure.
But so you guys were kind of touching on earlier, talking about writing as a 3-piece and that. So I kind of wanted to just kind of go a little bit more in depth with that, as far as like the first few riffs maybe that you guys wrote in that, like more a little bit about like the first actual song you guys kind of looking was like, that's a decent song.
What was,
Like,
what was the
it's a good
first song we wrote as a 3-piece? Feel Alright?
Probably Feel Alright. And
That's
that
a
was
solid
that,
tune.
that was a riff that that we came up with while Sean was in the band.
Yeah,
Dylan and I
that-
jammed it at like we were supposed to be packing up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling this riff." So Dylan and I jammed it one day.
That riff's always been around. It just hasn't been brought to light.
Mm-hmm. So that was the first song we wrote. I really don't dig that tune now, but these
A
guys.
lot of
still
people
do.
dig it when I use it. Another one I used.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like I like the riff and all that, but I'm not big on the chorus.
Can-
The
can
chorus
I-
bugs me.
Can I just say, I feel like that's because I remember when you showed me the riff and you're like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "That's sick." And you're like, "Yeah, we're gonna write like a drinking song."
Mm-hmm.
And my response to you was, "Why?" You're like, "Well, like we got to have that like Nickelback style hit, you know, like
It's
something."
not
You
even like-
didn't word it like that, but like something like
Yeah,
that.
it's not even like the lyrical content that bugs me. It's just
No,
I don't
it's just
like
literally
the chorus and the chorus melody and the
because I always thought that I always figured that was why. Because I'm like, you guys like don't like. Knowing you guys, like I'm like,
Yeah.
but like, you don't strike me as a band that's like, yeah, this song is called "Bottoms Up." Like I still,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, I think we did Not Ready Yet,
Yep.
which another one I'm not fond of, but
Another back burner.
yeah, it's a B-side.
Another solid tune. Though.
That's a B-side.
Another solid tune.
And then after that was like the one I was probably most stoked about, which was Change Today.
I think we've learned from Feel Alright, and
You were most stoked about it because you didn't actually write it.
Yeah,
Stole it
it
from
turns
Green
out
Day.
it's the exact same rip as Green Day song.
What song?
That's why we don't play anymore.
Change Today.
I won because I really like that song.
We're rewriting
We're
it
working on
currently.
rewriting it right now.
It's the same as a Green Day song?
So, yeah, same chord progression.
It's one of my favorite songs lyrically you've written too.
Yeah,
It's really,
a
really
cool song.
awesome.
But and then like after that song, I think all of a sudden it was weird. All of a sudden, like a flick kind of went for both Braedon and I, and we were
Riffs
sending
and
each other
riffs.
riffs, and it was
Riffs
just
for
riffs after
days.
riffs after riffs. And Braedon and I have learned that we write really similar. Like there's a few times where we've been going through our computers for ideas, and he's been like, "Dude, I have that same riff on my computer," and we'll show, and it's like pretty much the exact same. So it's really cool when stuff like that happens, and it's more like I don't really want to like try and name a band name, but it's like I guess kind of monster trucky in the sense of it's like single note kind of stuff, right? So and I think
Straight
that's-
rock, right
Yeah.
to the point.
Yeah, it's and like now when I write stuff, it's more about the groove. It's not so much like let's just be heavy. It's like you got to feel the groove in the song. So
Groovy. That's one thing that anyone who's I've ever shown your stuff to, usually this just the head starts bopping.
Yeah,
It's groovy.
that's the goal.
It's groovy, but like there's some balls to it. You know, it's not like it's like some modern rock stuff you hear. It's just like straight groove, and there's no like
Yeah.
substance to it.
and we played enough stuff that it was like people were saying, you know, you got to write to separate yourselves. And for the longest time, we're like, yeah, that's what we're trying to do. And I
Yeah.
think now the stuff we're writing is separating us. Like we found our sound. It only took 4 years, but
Yeah,
You know what? It takes bands, some bands, years.
yeah.
You got bands. Oh yeah, our first 3 records sucked. It's like
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Like 4 records from now, we could be playing like German pop music. Who knows?
Like,
That
I
might be our
think-
sound.
okay. Hang on a minute. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. So what you're telling me here right now on the Hottest Show on August 10th
2016.
that Outshined is eventually going in 4 albums from now is going to be a German pop band.
that's right.
So anyone who's listening to this,
We're
interview-
currently learning Germany. German,
Germany,
the language.
We're
Not
currently
the-
learning Germany. So you're learning about. So you're learning about Germany.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So well, tell me something about Germany if you're learning about it.
Well, Hitler was there.
Yeah. Rest-
Of course you'd come.
Not rest in peace. You're dead. See ya.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and that's that.
It's no longer TJ13.
That's all.
I
TJ13.
apologize.
That's rated R. TJR. TJR. I can't believe I just made that. I'm sorry, everybody. That sucked.
As he pulls his eye patch out of his pocket.
Army.
Yeah, but I think with
What's a pirate's girlfriend name? Peg.
but I think this EP is like the most sure we've been with all our songs. That's why I think it's like so rewarding.
Yeah, and we wanted it to be dynamic. Like, we didn't want to just... At first, Dylan and I were just like, maybe we should kind of have the same and just show that we can be a hard rock band.
Yeah.
So that there's some consistency there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Braedon talked us into Sunrise.
I didn't.
But-
I lost out on that.
Yeah.
The Reduce talked you. into
Braedon
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
that's right.
all pushing for it. Then we got in the studio and we had another song we were going to do, but it wasn't finished lyrically or melodically. We were going to finish it while we were in the studio, and then the guys at the studio, the Reduce, they were like, maybe you guys should pull something else out that's done. Do you have like a kind of a ballady type thing? Because this EP doesn't have a ballad. And Braedon right away was like, what about Sunrise? So we pulled it out, showed it to them, in like 30 seconds. They're like, you guys got to record it.
That's the song.
And
Yeah,
I do not regret that decision.
Not at all. It's like, I like the song as it was because I wrote it for Lex, that kind of thing, right? And
There's a lot of meaning to it.
yeah,
there.
and it came out way better than I ever could have expected.
Oh yeah.
Like, super, super, super exceeded my expectations.
So as far as I guess kind of each song I want to talk about like the recording the EP and kind of maybe some stories about that thing. But what I want to talk about first, just because we're kind of on the topic, maybe talk a little bit about each song, like as far as what
You guys
kind of how it was gone. And so the first song we have here is "Shut,"
Yeah.
which is again I hate that I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm assuming this song is going to be like, just judging by the name, it's
Yeah.
going to be good.
Do you guys want to kind of take turns and
The ballad.
It's the ballad. Starting off strong with the ballad in the A minor.
you guys kind of
Not
want to like
actually.
go through and take turns with songs and
Sure.
see what each thing says? Like, we'll each take a song kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll take Shut then. I think what we're going to kind of push is the single.
Yeah, that was another question I was going to ask. What's-
Yeah, it's going to be that or Situation Overload. Probably Shut because it has like a group vocal anthemic kind of hook thing in the chorus. And it's just a straight ahead driving rock tune. It's nothing super flashy. It's just a radio rock tune. That's pretty much all it is. And I always bug the guys about, like, we should have made this a concept EP because a lot of the lyrical content's kind of similar. And
Yeah.
These guys are like, no. But Shut's just kind of like,
Stupid.
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
Not a
See, now,
That's like-
I'm of the school where, like, concept albums, that kind of thing, are sick.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
I
me
love
too.
that stuff.
I think they're really cool.
I think if it all tells like a continuing story, not if it has a similar theme.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
which
fair-
is
I guess
this.
fair enough. I can understand that.
This is not a concept album.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are a bunch of songs that are kind of about the same thing somewhat.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think this one lyrically, it's just about someone that you didn't necessarily get along with, and they were trying to control what you're doing, and you're just. I mean, there's a line in the pre-chorus that's I hold my middle finger up to you, so that's.
There you go. Good, solid,
Yeah.
solid
That's
lyrics.
Open to interpretation.
Yeah.
to interpretation.
That's
I
about
love-
as ours as we get
Yeah.
right there.
I love the one line that you come in with once in a while, mate. You're just like, oh, I know it's with this.
Yeah, one of the line.
Have you
one of the
thought about
lines-
doing a podcast?
One of the lines in the chorus is, "Who are you to tell me who I should be? Keep your mouth shut and let me be." So it's just kind of like a big screw you.
Like the
to
rhyming
someone trying to
scheme there.
control you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, why one of you?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you wrote it.
Yeah.
But we might as well rotate through, because then by the time we do that, I'll hit Sunrise.
Well, yeah, we've already sort of touched on it. It's just like one of those songs that were sort of done when we started playing, and it's just what is it about, Brandon? I don't even know.
That's one of the first lyrics I wrote, and it's about a drug addicted mother who loses her kids, basically.
Yeah.
That's
to put,
heavy
to
right
put
there.
it simply, yeah.
Not from personal experience.
No.
Yeah. If you listen to the lyrics, you'll figure out how it's related to that.
See, I was wondering what that was, why it was about, and I think
Yeah.
I've never asked you.
It's sort of a song I like to think like you can perceive it as whatever you want
Yeah,
it
I
to
Oh,
be.
for
like-
sure, because I didn't get that at
Yeah.
all. Like,
Yeah.
not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Just,
It's something like, I mean, there'll be people listening now, but lyrics to me aren't. I like people to take their own interpretation on it. So in the garden, Braedon, I'll let you talk about this one.
Yes.
In the Garden is my biggest contribution to this album. I wrote the majority of this one, And
He's taking credit for the whole thing.
might as well take credit for one.
Yeah, brother, do it. Do it up.
He wrote the drums and everything. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh damn! You actually did? That's sick.
No.
Oh. So I don't know.
I wrote like the guitar and the structure and all that. But the lyrics are basically just about ignorance, I guess. The chorus, I had 2 different choruses, and they both meant different things. But Braedon wanted to use both of them to fill up the whole thing. So I'm not sure that it makes sense, but that's actually open to interpretation.
I think it makes really good sense.
Yeah.
I sort of yeah. Me too.
So now to Sunrise. So this one I wrote for my girlfriend for 4 years. It's just about, literally simply about the one you love, hanging out with them and just doing things you like to do, right? And just the main line of the chorus is "You are my sunrise," right? And sunrises majority of the time are pretty beautiful, so it's just that kind of thing. It's an open G. It's like the ballad. There's some
That's just the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
there's some violins in the bridge and that kind of thing. We experimented with some stuff. So yeah.
Because I remember you sent me a Snapchat of you playing like a dobro or something.
Yeah, that's not that song though.
Oh, okay. Hey, I don't know.
It's around.
It's around there somewhere. And like you're like, yeah, this is sick. I'm like, oh, interesting. And then like I think a couple days later, you're just like, yo, violins.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, like we can, if you'd like, we can go through that after. What's different, cool stuff that's on each song.
Oh, for
Sean,
sure,
though,
yeah.
For Sunrise, when we told Sean that we had violins on it, he was pissed. Because the whole time he was in the band, we'd play like a song, he'd go, oh, what do you think about maybe some violins on
Some
this?
string parts here, maybe.
Brendan would go, no, that's not heavy. Sean goes, all right, fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're a hard rock
What
band, brother.
about some piano on this song? Brendan goes, no, that's not heavy. And Sean goes, okay, well, all right, screw you.
No, there's piano in like 3 of the songs in this.
Yeah.
Maybe he had to be like the sacrificial lamb in order for that to happen. Perhaps.
Yeah.
He's basically the Jason Newsted of Outshined.
Oh yeah.
He had the Metallica that exists now is the Metallica that Jason Newsted always wanted. He had to leave the band for that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just thought of that reference, but whatever.
All right, so this next song is my favorite song on the EP, Situation Overload. It's just a really hard rock tune, just right to the point. It's really awesome. I ended up writing the lyrics for this one because I guess Braedon was struggling with the lyrics at this point, and I just wrote it about like diseases in general because I've had people in my family like suffer with cancer and stuff like that. So I just sort of wanted to write about that and sort of the experience, what they would think in their mind when they had the disease and what they thought other people around them would think. And I just thought it was a cool tune to sort of express that feeling.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
and like I just think to add to that, like Situation Overload, the title is kind of what's going on in your mind
Yeah.
when that stuff's happening, right?
Because I'm not like when you guys were here when I saw it, I was like, oh come on, like
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's like gonna be like some like classic rock, Situation Overload. Like I don't know. And I'm like, oh come on, really? But then like you explain it to me, and I'm like, yo, it's a heavy topic, but it's sick. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was cool that like Dylan pulled through and wrote all the lyrics for it. It was really cool.
That's
'Cause
sick.
I had the like the main Situation Overload line. It was just one of those things that one day it just popped into my head, and it didn't make any sense at the time. But I'm like, that's kind of cool. I'll record it and keep it. And thank God I did keep it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Thank
it turned
God.
out pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And the last song we have on here, Set Me Free, it's probably one of the songs that went through the most changes while we were in the studio. That and probably In the Garden.
Definitely.
It's, I don't know what the hell it's about, but
Couldn't tell you what it's
it's
about.
a really cool dynamic song. And it's always the one we end our shows with, and Braedon just goes wild at the end of
Oh,
the
yeah.
set.
Yeah.
It's just a fun song to play.
Yeah. The chorus has got like the kind of string rake things in it, so that makes it nice and heavy and
Yeah.
thickens it up.
Yeah, we had a lot of really cool stuff to this song on the EP. Like,
So those are the songs. So kind of you guys would just kind of touch on some stuff that is in each song. Maybe just kind of go through each song as far as like anything cool to mention or any funny stories and like that. As far as when you guys were recording them.
well, to clear up all the songs, we recorded drums with just the drums, and then after the drums were done, we did cymbals like all alone.
Ah.
So it was a really different process. It was interesting to
Yeah.
watch Dylan do that because he's never done it before.
No,
It's hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
While he's
'Cause he-
doing the drums, he's still miming out the
Yeah.
cymbals.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
So
he's like
it-
swinging
it's
full out
weird.
for cymbals and hitting the snare, right? So he's swinging at nothing. It's really funny to watch.
There's one part Braedon and I were in stitches because he's in the cymbal section of one song and he gets to a little drum solo and he mimes out the drum solo with no drums there, and I guess he messes it up and makes a face even though he's not recording any of it. Braedon and I were
Like
in
he knew. He's just like, oh,
yeah.
I messed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it was funny. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a cool, different experience anyway.
Mhm.
And it turned out amazing. Like, I was sort of doubting it in my mind, but I shouldn't
The kid
doubt
was,
Dalton Radu. Like,
different
he's
sort
a
of
Man
genius.
knows what he's doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a genius.
So I've never heard of that before. Like
Yeah.
recording out all, but it
Yeah.
makes sense.
I've heard of it.
Yeah,
and
it does.
It makes for a much cleaner product at the end of it because you're not worrying about drum hits getting in overhead mics and that kind of thing, and washing or
Oh, for sure.
cymbals washing out something else, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, different things in each song that were kind of cool. Like "Set Me Free" in the intro. There's stomps and claps, and obviously the claps are just claps, but the stomps are actually we put on work shoes and stomped on the staircase. So that's like the kick drum sound, I guess if you want to say at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's really cool. What else is on there? In "Set Me Free," same thing. That's where the dobro is in the verses.
Interesting.
There's a lot of stuff. I think there's mandolin on a couple songs. That was different to play.
Were you playing the mandolin on it?
Yeah, it was really weird to play because it's 4 strings, but it's doubled up, so it's 8, right?
Yeah,
It's
because
like a
I've
12
seen you
string.
play one or two before at the store back in the day.
Yeah, it's interesting to play.
A lot of synth stabs throughout all the
Yeah.
songs, really.
Yeah, and what was really cool is that it was awesome recording with someone like Dalton because he really pushed us to do other stuff and just said, we'll record everything, and if there's stuff that sounds like crap, we just won't use it. So there's a lot of layering guitar stuff, like I was mentioning earlier, doing the stuff that I'm used to playing rhythm parts, then capoing it and doing different inversions of the chords, and then arpeggiating stuff as well. So some tracks there's 6 different, or not 6, but probably 3 or 4 different guitar parts going on. But it doesn't sound like there is. It's just thickening it up, right?
Yeah, it's just sticking it up. Yeah, see, I get that. And
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd hear it and go, oh, okay. But the average person, they don't notice it unless it's not there.
Yeah.
That's one thing
Yeah.
if I've noticed with local bands and stuff like that is
Yep.
little things like that.
Like, just for example, on Garden, I did a big Gibson J200 acoustic as my main acoustic part. We did a Baby Taylor, the mini ones, as well. We did a Telly into an orange, Gibson into a Mesa, and then I think there's mandolin on that as well, and maybe a little bit of 12 string. So there's a bunch of different guitar parts. So
a lot of different guitars too.
And a phantom tambourine.
that's on Garden.
And a phantom tambourine.
There's
They keep
tambourine in
telling
the
me there's
back chorus, and
tambourine on that
Braedon doesn't
song.
hear it, so
I can't hear it for the life of me.
Really?
I hear it because I did
he
it.
recorded it.
I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to let you know if I
Yeah.
hear it too. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, it's
Yeah, a
there.
lot of auxiliary percussion too,
Ah.
which I've never recorded before, but it's not hard. So
It's not hard. It's not hard. So, I mean, I'll do it anyway.
Yeah. Anything bass-wise you want to talk about, Braedon?
I did all the tracks twice.
I was going to bring this up. So Dylan, Braedon, you want to tell that story real
Take
quick?
it away, Adele. So I went in for the day of bass recording, and Brandon wasn't there that day. And so we sat down, and I had a headstock tuner on the bass. We had a tuner on the audio interface. But my Jackson bass I usually play, the intonation was just screwed on it, so I had to play the bass that they had in the studio, and it had much thinner strings on it, and I play with a very heavy pick and usually hit the strings pretty hard. So we'd tune before every song, but about 5 seconds in, I'd knock it out of tune. But no one in the studio. It was me, Dalton, the producer.
all the musicians
Yeah.
in this place.
There was
And
about
no one
5
noticed.
musicians sitting in the studio. No one realized that all the songs had gone out of tune. And Brandon comes later that night, and he's just sitting playing video games, and he hears Y playing.
Working
in the
hard,
back.
of course.
As always. And he
Call of
hears
Duty.
Y in the background. He goes, "Hey Dalton, that's out of tune." And then Dalton goes, "No, I don't think it is." And they go in, and they start playing the guitars over, and they go, "Oh Christ, that's out of tune."
Uh-oh.
I remember Brandon texted me that night, and he goes, "So you might have to come in and redo a bit of stuff when you come in. A bit of it got out of tune." I thought, "Oh shit, okay." And I get in. I was like, "So what was out of tune?" And Dalton goes, "All 6 songs were out of tune, buddy.
All 6 of them.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
to do it all again."
So we just
Damn.
gave him a lighter pick and redid it. At
he
that
he
point,
flew
we-
through them anyway.
Oh, you ripped them out in a couple hours.
Like always.
But yeah, at that point we had a lot of the guitar tracks done, so we could tell what was out of tune and whatnot, right? So, but that's just what happens, I guess, when you're recording an EP.
Sometimes there's funny stories, and that's any more kind of like funny stories, anything funny that happened when you guys were recording, or that you can talk about. And then
So many.
Oh, too many.
Dylan Searai with Colin.
Oh,
in
jeez.
hockey playing NHL.
Yeah, we would just have a big NHL tournament between the two of us, and it would just get intense. Like we'd even get too loud, where Dalton would have to scream at us to stop talking.
Yeah.
because we're just having so much fun playing. It's like, yeah, we're recording next to us. Like that's,
we're recording your EP here, boys.
yeah,
Settle down.
exactly.
Like, just the three of them that run the studio, like, they're three of the funniest gentlemen I've ever met in my life.
Nicest guys. Like
And they're three brothers, though. So, you know, when they get in little arguments, it's the funniest thing in the world.
Because they're all brothers.
Yeah. We highly suggest working with them.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And what's
awesome.
just right now? What's their studio
So
again?
it's called Rad Lounge Studio.
Rad Lounge
RAD,
Studios.
Rad Lounge Studio. So they're just kind of getting off the ground. So we're the first band they had in. They're just looking to grow. Dalt's been doing it for years. He went to Berkeley and everything. So
That's legit.
they know what they're doing.
Oh, definitely know what they're doing. But there's the one thing that sticks out in my mind, and I think we all laugh at it equally. Like, it was just the funniest thing, and we have video footage, and it'll be out eventually. But Colin is talking to Phil, and he says, "Yeah, what's with his outfit? Have you not done laundry yet?" And Phil goes, "No, actually, this was the last thing left in my closet today." And Colin goes, "Yeah, because you look terrible. You look like a butterfly." And
The most colorful
Yeah.
outfit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was like a turquoise shirt with like red and yellow on it, and he was wearing like super light colored khaki like shorts. And Phil stands in front of the camera, and he's like, "If you're watching this, please hashtag Phil is a butterfly." And the funniest part of the whole video is Colin in the background. "Phil, all we can see is your fat barrel. All we can see is your fat barrel." And it's just I'll show you later. It's
Oh,
the funniest
God.
thing, man.
There's a lot of good times though. You can't even pick a specific.
Highly recommend working with Reduce.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely,
hands down.
definitely.
Highly recommend. Now something we
Brilliant
haven't.
musicians too, all of them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even just hanging out with them, like you don't got to work with them, just hang out with them.
Yeah, well, good
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Check out Beyond the Sun, of course.
Yes.
I think they're still doing stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I think I haven't heard anything from them for a while.
Yeah.
But
They're working
now
on-
they're working. Cool. Now something we haven't really talked about, which is kind of surprising, seeing me and you are in the same room, Brandon. Not taking away from you guys, just it's what me and Brandon talk about 9% of the time. The gear that was used. I want to hear all about the gear. I know that it's money. It's money. But
Yeah.
what was some of the gear you guys were using?
Well,
for
here's
the-
where it gets boring for these two. But
I want to bore everyone listening right now, Brandon.
yeah.
Go in depth.
We honestly didn't use pretty much any of my stuff on this. I think we used my Strat on one thing, my red Strat.
That
the
red Fiesta Strat.
yeah.
Where did you happen to get that Strat, sir?
Good old Gigs Music.
Hell yeah.
And
From who exactly?
Mr. TJ Hodder.
God damn right.
So we used that for like the octave slides and Set Me Free, and that was it. But pretty much the meat and potatoes, like the high gain tones on the EP, are a PRS into a Mesa triple rec, the mini Rex, the 25 watts, through a 112 cab. That's pretty much most of the guitar tones on this, with a lot of acoustics and stuff. And the other two big sounds we used a lot were a Gibson 339, so the smaller body 335 into an orange, and a Telly into an orange. So those were the main two for the EP.
So some solid.
Yeah, we
gear
use
there.
lots of good gear. As far as acoustics, we use like Gibson J200s and some really nice sounding stuff. And then I guess my favorite tone, I'll give you that on the EP, is in the Situation Overload solo. I use an Octafuzz, and it's just
You love those octaves.
Oh, dude, it sounds
You love
wicked.
them.
Sounds
Too
awesome.
much.
Yeah.
And how do you both feel about this octave?
Oh jeez. It can go away. It wouldn't bother me.
We use a lot of Octafuzz on Situation Overload. That when the whole riff kicks in, there's 4 octaves of the riff, because there's Braedon doing it, my normal octave, then we capoed 12th fret, played an octave up there with the Octafuzz on.
The octaves you need.
There's 4 octaves in it, but it sounds so.
I
thick, it
I
sounds
gotta
wicked.
say, it sounds
I'm
amazing.
sure when I hear it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we'll show you after we're done. We'll plug it into the system for you.
Yeah, and my experience is pretty much just as entertaining as Brandon's was, actually. We were using a beautiful Pearl Reference Series kit, which, if you guys don't know what that is, it's an amazing drum set. And I was really honored to play on it because it sounded amazing. And we also shuffled through a few bass drums. Like I didn't use a single snare the same all at the same time. Like we used 1,000 snares. Like I couldn't even keep track. 1,000 cymbals, none of my own. Like it was crazy how much of Dalt stuff I used.
And I think it wasn't a matter of like our stuff wasn't good. It was just like Dalt's used to what he does. It sounds good.
Dalt
So
knows
it's
the
like-
sound that we want, and he wanted to get the sound from that song out of the drums.
Yeah.
So
Well, like he knows that we're going for heavy sound, so he goes, let's use the Mesa right off the bat. Mesa with a PRS, right? Like you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
yeah, yeah. So he would bring out a snare and hit it and say, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Bring out another snare, finds the right sound out of the snare, tunes it a little bit differently every time.
Mics it differently.
Yeah, mics it differently, and we also did a lot of like towel over the bass drum. like a lot of different things to the drum set specifically to make it sound the way it should in the song, and it turned out amazing.
I think one of my favorite like drum sounds, like just honestly regardless, is the big reference kick.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like that thing's got so much punch and so much bottom end. It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So as far as bass stuff, Braedon over here.
My rig was one Ibanez bass plugged into the board.
Yeah,
That was literally what you were using.
Yeah.
that's literally all it was. Yeah,
What
it's,
what
Nothing
Ibanez
fancy
bass?
on my end. It's the one they had in their studio.
Even though what it was,
Mine
kid,
was
it-
broken.
it's one
These
of those.
guys are all-
Braedon, check the gig bag you got over there. It's the same one that you're renting at the moment. It's the same style, same model of bass.
I'm just curious, just in case there's anyone Gearhead
One of those.
what
It's
it
one of the
was.
SRs.
Oh yeah.
Can't afford.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's
Yeah.
that's a beautiful bass.
Yeah,
You guys can't see it. It's like a beautiful like dark walnut finish.
Yeah.
I only
5
had 4
string.
strings in the studio though.
Yeah. That's a beautiful bass. I might need to
that
steal
was my
that.
setup.
I don't know. Like Dalton might have put, effects and
Something
whatnot
on it, but
after.
yeah.
There
There's
was a lot of
definitely
different amp
processing.
sims going on his end.
Yeah.
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 But yours is just straight into the board.
Yeah.
Hey, you got. Yeah.
While we were recording, though, we put this gross, like, Lemmy tone on it. Even when we were recording, like, the ballads, it's all, like, real heavy distorted bass.
recording the ballads with a heavy distorted. That's great.
Well, it just makes
fun.
it poke through, right? So you can
Yeah.
hear it when you're
Yeah,
recording.
Oh, for sure. So that's kind of the. Was there any songs you guys had that like just didn't make the cut? Like was there a couple songs that
Can't
were like
control me.
Can't control me.
can't control me?
It's the second song we ever wrote together, and it's like I wanted to go for like a hardcore AC/DC vibe on that song, and it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it didn't turn out that way.
no, that's probably.
Did it turn out more airborne or?
I can speak for all of us. Probably our least favorite song.
Lots of people like it, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
it's
a lot
a
of
good
people
song.
who don't know us well will come up and say, like, that was a really killer tune.
that's why we keep it around. I'd say just to
I
please
It's
really
the
people.
dancing song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shake the butts to it.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get Feel Alright on this one, but I lost out on that.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask if there was a song each of you kind of were like, oh man, I like that song. But
I think me and Braedon were both pushing for Feel Right a little bit,
yeah.
but at the end of the
Mr.
day, I'm-
Hastings put the stop to that. Right
yeah.
quick.
Well, I agreed with the lineup we have now on the CP.
Oh, for sure.
so-
Yeah. I don't think that song would fit.
Yeah, there's nothing here I would replace with
Yeah,
Feel Alright.
No.
exactly.
I changed today. I was bummed wasn't going to be on here, but that wasn't like a choice that we made. It was just that it was a rip.
Wasn't
So
a song.
We originally were going for a 5-song EP,
yeah.
but we actually threw the last song in for Sunrise,
Mm-hmm.
which was a great decision, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad we went with 6.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I think it's a good amount. Not too many, not too little. You guys kind of each have, you guys have touched on this a little bit, but as far as each, you kind of have a favorite song off the EP that you guys like really looking forward to playing and like that kind of thing.
Billy.
Yeah, like I said, Situation Overload, just a great tune. I wrote the lyrics for it. It's just a song I want to, like when I put in our EP, like I want to go right to that song. Like it's just so balls to the wall. It's like, it's really awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a situation overload for me too. But it's between that and Shut, because of the big group vocal thing in it. I hope the day comes and that we get the chance for a crowd to sing that. That'd be just incredible
Yeah.
to hear that sing it
It's
back.
a
to us.
dream.
That'd be awesome. But Shut's always fun because you jam out power stance and headbang. So
Yeah, now that our EP's for sale, people will actually listen to our stuff and
People
possibly would know what
Yeah.
we're playing, right? So,
Well, next time there's a show and I'm there,
yeah,
I'll chant along.
that's right. Braedon?
I don't know that I really have a favorite to play. I really like doing Set Me Free. And,
I can
Yeah,
tell you a favorite I like you to play.
what's that?
Garden.
Oh, yeah. Except that you insist on introducing me at the beginning of the show.
yeah, Braedon hates
Hate
being
it.
introduced.
Your son.
Brain's everything.
We always-
Not that no one sounds like that. That was me introducing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hates getting introduced, so we always make sure Dylan and I make a point of introducing him. So.
Oh, yeah.
I'm usually the only person to get introduced, actually.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
usually
really.
forget about these.
Well,
Yeah.
so you got to turn it around then.
Yeah, really.
Then I'd have to talk in the mic.
It's a little douchey if I introduce myself. So
Yeah.
And I'm Braedon Hastings. Someone got me a Diet Pepsi.
no Diet Coke actually.
Diet Coke, excuse me. I'm sorry. And your McDoubles with ketchup only.
Yeah.
See, I remember. I'm a good roadie or whatever. So, talk about the EP. Talk about all that kind of thing. So, kind of what's next for Outshined at this point? Sitting here right now, what's next? What's some of the big next?
I hope
goals?
an album.
Yeah.
We have a lot of songs in the making that I would love to have on recording.
I'm seeing on your board over here. I'm seeing some names. I won't drop any names or anything. But,
No, you
I'm
guys gotta keep that one top secret.
Yeah, that's gonna be top
That's
secret.
gonna be a big one.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of songs in the making. So I think an album would be great. But obviously, until then, bigger shows, you know.
Just continue on the path that we're on right now, because a few months ago we opened for Bleecker, which was awesome in itself. That was just insane for us.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to now, or last night, we're opening for Bleecker and Pop Evil. So it's a jump up. So hopefully we can just keep jumping up,
Keep
and
progressing.
that kind of
And
thing.
it's been it's been quick. Like
Yeah.
when you texted
Yeah.
me and you were like, dude, we're opening for Pop Evil and Bleecker. I was
Yeah.
like, holy crap.
And not
like,
too long
yes.
ago, before that, we were just getting over our biggest show we've ever had as a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like just progressing.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn. Like it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I see nothing but wonderful things in your guys' future.
Well,
And
hopefully,
I'm not
man.
just saying that to blow smoke up your ass.
It's cool, that we've played enough shows, and we've done a lot of shows, and it's cool now to see that it's kind of paying off. And
You're starting to see that,
Yeah.
that thing. Especially like I wish I could have been there last night, because I can only imagine how cool it would have been for you guys. Like people coming up to you wanting your autographs, and you kind of touched on that earlier in the
shocking.
part one, but-
yeah, we're getting a taste of that small fame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like a dick or anything. Not that it's not cool, because it is. It's insanely cool.
Yeah.
For us, we've never had people that want autographs other than family and
Yeah.
stuff. But last night we had so many people come up that we had no idea who they were. That
Like, they
wanted our
seemed
autograph.
fired up to meet us. Like,
Yeah, and we had people come from the last show saying, "Hey, we came to this one because we saw your Mustache Club show with Bleecker, and you guys were great." So-
we're just equally as fired up to meet them.
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, screw us. We want to meet you.
Yeah,
Tell us about
exactly.
you, man.
yeah, it's awesome. We could stand there and chat all day with the same person and listen, talk about their experiences.
What do you think's next, Braedon?
I don't know. I'm pretty stoked to be on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, that's right. I
Yeah.
mentioned that kind of earlier in the intro for part one there. You guys heard on Thursday, but maybe just kind of, again, give me the details for that real quick.
You got it.
Anybody? Anyone got details for that?
I lose dates all the time.
So starting August 29th from 8 o'clock for that whole week. So the 5 days at 8 o'clock, we're going to be on Generation Next on 94.9 The Rock. And then I think it's 2 o'clock on Saturdays or something like that. And then the week after that, so September 10th, we're doing a CD release party at the Mustache Club in Oshawa.
And that is going to be sweet.
Yeah, so
Yes.
94.9 is going to help us promote that the week we're on Generation Next. And it should be a good show. It'll be available on iTunes as of that week, and we'll have more physical copies and all that kind of stuff. So that's the big CD release.
That's
that
the
we've
big. That's the big stuff coming. That's what's next
Yeah.
for Outshined.
Yeah.
So, just real quick, I want to ask this because the last 2 days, I'm all about Spotify right now. You guys thought about putting it on Spotify, or anything like that, or?
Yeah, with the website we're using to go through, it's going to go on
goes all that?
iTunes, Spotify,
Oh,
Google
right on.
Play,
I'll be
Everything.
Xbox.
Xbox Live.
Xbox
Yeah.
Live.
Xbox Live.
Shouts out to all the
Yeah.
gamers out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So
Gonna put it on the old SoundCloud, perhaps.
yeah, we might put snippets up on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
See, everyone always
I
says snippets. You got to put the full song up there
Yeah,
so I can
but-
share it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause the harder show lives on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think there's some cool stuff coming up. Guys, be sure to check Outshined out on Facebook, on the web. Guys want to give me those all your plugs and stuff now for the social medias and so forth.
Website is www.outshine.ca. Our Facebook is Outshine Band Canada. Instagram is Outshine Band, and Twitter is Outshine Band 19. So all a bunch of different handles.
Very
because So many
inconsistent.
were stolen. So.
I will. When I share the podcast, and I'll make sure I share all you guys' social medias as well, as well as anything at all that happens.
We appreciate
We're just
your
gonna-
continuous support,
Yes.
too.
Oh, dude, always. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't like to say this, but it's the truth. Out of all the local bands, I mean, I'd be lying if you guys weren't my favorite.
Oh, we appreciate that.
So-
Really appreciate that, man.
I appreciate you guys being cool and coming on the podcast. It's been, I can't believe I've been here for 4 hours. I'm gonna get out of your house now because this has been a blast. So thank you guys for allowing me to come into your jam space and hang out with you guys.
Thank you, man.
I think we're going to end her off.
All right.
All right, but Brandon, Braedon,
Thank
Dylan,
you, man.
thank you guys again.
Thank
We're gonna end
you.
off with a little bit of music. All right, so that was part 2 of my conversation with the guys from Outshined. It was an absolute blast. If you guys could not tell all the laughs and random segues and so forth, those guys were so open to talk about anything. It was awesome. Like I said in part 1, it's just like I'm hanging out with a couple of my buddies when I hang out with those guys. So it was an absolute bunch of fun. You can definitely bet, I'm sure that they will be on the podcast again. Since then, I have listened to the EP in full. And all I can say right now to you guys, it is mind blowing. It is so good. And I'd be straight with you guys. You know, if I didn't, if I didn't like it, I'd tell you guys straight up. And I can honestly say I like the entire EP. There's definitely no filler on this EP. There's no bull crap as far as dumb lyrical content or anything like that. This is all good stuff. It's all real, good old straightforward hard rock and roll, and there's nothing better than that. So you guys may remember that's on part 1. I mentioned something about how we tried to record a little something after the podcast, a musical performance, and I feel I need to tell you guys what happened with that. Basically, after the podcast, when I say we're going to have a little bit of music, we were going to do a little acoustic performance exclusively for the Harder Show. But unfortunately, my computer had other plans, and it decided to do an update. So I went, oh, okay, well, sorry, boys, we just have to wait a few minutes. No problem. So they got all their gear set up, and we're sitting there waiting for this damn computer. And it updates, and then it decides to basically crash the entire system. So long story short, I sat there for about 20 minutes freaking out, thinking I had lost the 2 podcasts we just did and everything else. So I was freaking out. Turns out everything was fine. It just had to do a system restore, and all the podcasts and everything were still there. For some reason, that update messed my computer up, but it is what it is. So definitely next time, we will have to get that acoustic performance. I was thinking about just doing it with my phone or something, but I was like, you know what? No, I wanted to do it really good quality. So I just said, you know what, boys, we'll get it next time. And they promised me that next time we do a podcast, we would do that acoustic performance. So definitely looking forward to the day that happens. But I am going to play you guys another song off the EP. Now, the EP itself, there are 5 awesome songs, and it was hard for me. I was trying to debate on what I was going to play for you guys again, because I played Why, obviously, in part 1 there. Why is my favorite song off the EP, so I figured, you know what, that's what I'm using for my intro and my outro and that from now on, so I figured I'd play the full song. Got really good feedback. A lot of people were asking me if I can send them the file and so forth, and that is not how it works here, folks. You are going to have to be patient and wait for September 10th. Which again is their EP release party that they're going to be doing. Definitely look forward to that. And aside from listening to the 2 songs I'm going to play for you that I played for you on part 1, and then the one I'm going to play for you here today, you can also hear Outshined on 94.9 The Rock's Generation Next, starting August 29th. So that's going to be awesome. I'm so proud of those guys and so happy for those guys. I can't help but kind of feel a sense of pride and proudness, if that makes any sense. Just because I've known those guys for a little while, especially Braedon. The fact that he was my part-timer and my co-op at the store, I can't help but feel a little bit of pride in seeing how quickly all this has happened for them. You know, opening up for Bleecker, and then opening up for Bleecker and Pop Evil, and now being on 94.9 The Rock, and all that. Like it's happening. And it's going to be awesome. And like I said in the end of the podcast there, I see nothing but wonderful things in their futures. And I wish them nothing but the absolute best. Definitely going to be keeping in touch with those guys throughout everything that ever happens. I got nothing else to say about that. So enough rambling on from this guy here. I am going to kick into another song off the EP here that I'm going to leave you guys with. Now, this song is a new song for the EP. You heard Dylan talking about it in the podcast here. Pretty deep meaning behind the song. Really, really cool, kind of straightforward rock track. Really rocking stuff. It's sick. I'm really, really big fan of this song. I mean, like I said, guys, all the songs in this EP are great, but this one in particular is a really cool, definitely a favorite of the band. Definitely a big fan of this one. So sit back, crank it up. This song is called Situation Overload by Outshined. So crank it up, and I will catch you guys next time on The Harder Show. Take it easy.